John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now. Told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog. Yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk. Don't care what they say. I don't got no patience. I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it. Running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym. I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work. Told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face. They all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple-double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Oh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a fool fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her, and she gon' work that round. I'ma mess around and drown when she drop that down. Now my phone be blowing up, I like not right now. Oh, I swear that she in next the way she work that mouth. Whoa, automatic cause she move, she be cousin static. I be straight up like an addict, might become an addict. Now I gotta have it, had enough with all the moves, yeah, move here. Ooh, let me grab it, now I'm on 1 year. Now I'm not done yet, told her wait right here. I'll be back 1 sec, this is just time out, this is not no way. Go and grab that friend, and you know what's next, stay. You been rockin' with it all-star, baby. And I know you coming early like a five-star, baby. Packing out the seat, this ain't no hostile, baby. And they know me in the city like a mob star. Oh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Oh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a fool fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. What tell her?
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. And Mafia, we got an amazing show for you tonight as Bitcoin has literally fallen to the exact key level that we were looking at on last night's live stream. Now, the signals turned out to be a little bit different, but I want to talk about the current price action here. As we have gotten that drop down to our local value area low, we'll cover those local levels and what I'm expecting next here in the short term, as well as taking a look at the higher time frames and trying to figure out if we are on the verge of a very big dump. Now, you saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. Bearish signs appear. Now, these bearish signs may have been on the chart for quite some time, but I want to talk about them and talk about the potential severity if price does wind up dumping off of these signals. How low can we go, and what am I going to be looking for as far as support, and what does this mean for the overall bull market? Is it over? Are we still going to see $100,000+, or are we going to go into a little bear market here? We're going to be breaking it all down on tonight's live stream, guys. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out here on a Friday. There's a lot of stuff you guys could do on a Friday night, but you chose to spend it here with your boy Frankie Candles and the rest of the Candle Mafia. So smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra. Shout out to Angels at 48K. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But yeah, every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto. And shout out to Tyler Durden. Tyler, I don't know what video we're going to do this week, but just a heads up, I don't know. I'm going to let you make the executive decision. Tony is not here. I think you usually make this decision anyway. Tony is not here today. So, yeah, I don't know yeah, I don't know either. Shout out to Tyler. But, yeah, let's just find a video for, yeah, we'll pick something. But we're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff here. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at some of the altcoins. Dave Digital tuning in, dropping here for the Mafia here as a new official mod. But let's go ahead and say what's up to the Mafia before we jump on into the charts, guys. Don't forget to show the mods some love. They help me out endlessly with this YouTube channel. So show them some love. If you love them even half as much as I do, drop them some love in the chat. Shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Shout out to Curtis Neal. What is going on, bro? All set in the chat set. Here we go. Kush Patel, good to see you, bro. We got the Biomex in the chat. What is up, bro? Let's see. We got Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown, although sometimes he is a little bit scary. Shout out to Pennywise. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Kush Patel. Let's see. We got Angel. What is going on? Or Angelique. Sorry, I totally misread that. We got Darren Does Things tuning in. B-Rad Crypto said, whoa, on early today. Yeah, shout out to B-Rad Crypto. We are, yeah, I guess it's 5:45. We're on a couple of minutes early here. Shout out to K Diggity. What is going on? Curtis Neal and Daniel. What is going on? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. But let's go ahead and jump on into, the balloons in chat. Shout out to Pennywise. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into these charts. jump on into the charts. Sorry, hit the wrong button there, guys. Let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to figure out if we can predict where this thing's going to go next, because last night, like I said, we were looking for this move down to this value area low, and I'm going to talk about kind of what I was looking at for that drop to the downside. Excuse me. As you guys know, last night, literally on the live stream, we were hanging around this local point of control sitting at about $59,462. And then live, we started to get this drop down as we were looking for a potential 15-minute money flow crossover into the red to drop us back down to this value area low, because as you guys know, once you deviate above that high and get stuck underneath that value area high, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC. And then once you lose that POC, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that value area high. Now, granted, that 15-minute money flow crossover into the red wasn't necessarily the thing that dropped us down there. You guys can see a couple time frames up here. That 30-minute money flow crossover into the red actually wound up being that signal to get that drop all the way back down to that value area low. And just in general, the volume profile was very accurate here. Gets stuck under the high, can't get back above it. You get accepted back into the range, back down to the POC. The POC often acts as a magnet for price, but then once you lose it and once you're stuck under that value area high, you are expecting that journey all the way through that entire volume profile, targeting that value area low. And then we were looking down here as that next key level of support. And shout out to the premium Discord, had a long setup in here. I actually am not in the trade as I was out today. I was not at my desk when we got the setup, but did get that bounce at the value area lows. We had some local confirmations here to look for a long back up to that POC and potentially back up to that value area high. So as of right now, guys, like the local price action is basically just doing exactly what we wanted it to. We got the drop down to the value area low, and as long as we do wind up remaining, let me spawn some of these levels to get some of these lines out of here. As long as we do wind up, come on, what is this volume? What is this? Spawn the larger volume profile there. But as long as we're able to remain within that, I'm just going to hide this currently. But yeah, as long as we're able to remain within this volume profile, guys, we could potentially expect this range to continue to get respected. And maybe, although there are not as many signals that are like perfectly pointing towards that move back up to the POC like we had yesterday, looking to go to the value area low. Let's actually hop over to the, 4-hour bullish divergence also printing here at the lows. Not impossible to get back up to this value area high and potentially beyond. Now, I am not calling for much higher prices, but locally, this is the range that I'm looking at, and the fact that we have this 4-hour bull div, green dot printing on the 4-hour with our 15-minute money flow now crossed over into the green, can we potentially see price work its way back above that POC and up to the value area high? It would be an absolute meme if it did, and if it does happen, guys, I am considering getting a volume profile tattooed on my forehead. So smash the like button if you want me to tattoo a volume profile on my forehead. Shout out to All Set. I said I got in on that long trade nicely with 10x. Shout out to All Set. Let's go. Bing bong. We're going to throw some money for you, bro. Taking that trade at the bottom of the value area, trading these ranges, whether the price is going up or down, making some money. I don't know what this is. That's like $200-300. Let's go. Shout out to All Set, bro. Congratulations. Nice trade. And don't forget to pay yourself when you're in the green. So let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Dumpy. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into that. Now, locally, again, like everything kind of remains the same here, guys. See if we can remain within this range. If we do wind up losing it to the downside once again, some local support levels, although they do basically remain just about exactly the same as they've been, daily level down here at about $57,509 is technically the next horizontal that we have below us. And then, coming up a couple of time frames here, we do have some levels down here. We have a daily sitting at $54,115. And then obviously, if we go ahead and pull this Fibonacci retracement, we do have some confluence down here in the $54,500 to $55,000 range. There's a couple other levels within here as well. So $55,000, this whole zone down here is still going to be a major level of support that I'm looking at if we get a bigger drop to the downside. But locally, just playing these local ranges as they are extremely reliable. And hopefully some of you guys were tuned into last night's live stream, seeing that happen live, where we were looking for that drop to the value area low, and hopefully seeing this play out over time, and like kind of just checking back in and being like, well, there we go. looking for the move down to the value area low based off the rejection from the high. And here we are, right? This stuff actually works, right? It's not just magic. TA is not astrology for crypto bros. That is the most inaccurate statement I've ever heard in my life. But obviously it's not going to tell you exactly where price is going to go every single time. But TA indeed does work. It's just not 100% of the time. But also kind of what I'm looking at here, guys, like one other chance that we have to come up a little bit more locally here. I'm going to bring up some other local resistance levels here above this value area high. But you can see here, we do have this 90-minute money flow starting to work its way up. Now, this is not necessarily anything to write home about in my own personal opinion, but it is trending to the upside, which is pretty nice. And then also we have some of these higher hourly time frame VWAPs kind of starting to work their way up. However, a lot of them have been rejected at the 0 line. But really the main level or main time frame I'm looking at is this daily. Now, talking to the premium Discord earlier today during our premium live stream, and this VWAP is not necessarily the cleanest look, right? This is not really what we want to see. We want to see nice curvature on these VWAPs up towards that 0 line. But as price action develops, I'm definitely going to be watching this daily green dot, because if we see this 90-minute money flow continue into the green here, and that 80-minute money flow likely to front run the 90-minute, if we get these money flow crossovers, that may be what we are looking for to get that bigger move up towards the value area high and potentially beyond. Now, the question remains, if we get the breakout here and we get a little bit more of a move above this value area high, what are those next major key levels of resistance? Now, if we do get that move up, I will be potentially basically just looking at the previous areas of balance, right? Now, on top of Fibonacci retracements, if we pull our fib from the high here all the way down to our low, you can see we do have a golden pocket sitting at about 62,092. I'll go ahead and mark that out. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. And then we also have that 786 sitting up here at about $63,354. Hey, shout out to Rigo. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for that super chat. He said, "This is why I love TA." Let's go. Shout out to Rigo. Yo, bro, it's crazy, right? And here's the thing, right? We can never say that TA plays out 100% of the time, right? But if you tune into this live stream, if you tune into this live stream, you guys will know, right? Like kind of the probability of the TA playing out. Like I just really have a problem when people say it's astrology for crypto bros, or like it's just like imaginary lines on a chart, because it's just simply inaccurate. And these are people who just don't understand how technical analysis works and how important it is to manage risk, right? It's not just TA alone that allows you to predict. The TA allows you to try to make an educated guess on which way the market will go. And I feel like people who kind of just don't believe in TA, they kind of just think like, well, if I did that, I would just, and like, basically, they're assuming that you're just going to bet your whole bag with no stop loss on one direction or the other. And that's just not how trading works, right? It's obviously more about risk preservation than it is about trying to guess if the price is going up or down, right? This is where trading strategy comes in, risk management. These are the important things. So if you're ever out there and you see people hating on TA in general, please, for the love of God, point them towards this YouTube channel, because I will prove to them that not only is it work, but it just doesn't have to work 100% of the time. And a lot of those people are kind of people who probably go off of news events, which, you can obviously see on the charts. Usually, if you're looking at the charts, you could see the move in the charts before the news ever comes out, right? We've done this many times live. So I will advertise and promote TA until the death of me, guys. It's all about probabilities. But shout out to Anna Maria. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you to Harris for the super chat. Anna Maria says, dump it. And I'm going to get into that bearish scenario, guys, in just a second. Those rare bearish signs that we need to be keeping an eye on the higher time frames that could potentially bring us lower, because these are definitely lurking. And we have a lot to talk about right now. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss it, because it's actually really, it's extremely important, and it's also a bit of a difficult situation. So shout out to Anna Marie. We're going to get into that. Thank you for the super chat. Harris says, we go into 71K next week. Let's go. Thoughts? So I would say, right, there could be a potential possibility of that, and the major level that we really need to get above in order to see $70,000. Now, these higher time frame, when we get to the bearish case, I'll kind of cover that. So stick around, Harris. I will go over the possibility of going to 71K, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. But I will say this, from a technical standpoint, those higher time frames are looking pretty bearish. But these are the local levels I'm looking at. Again, golden pocket 786, and then we also have this local volume profile up here that I will be looking at if we do come back up. Obviously, this is somewhat of a local area of balance. So we get ejected out of this range, we may be gravitated towards this zone between about $63,000 to $64,000, which we all know is key resistance. So those are the local levels, but let me go ahead and break down these higher time frame levels, guys. Higher time frame, not levels, but just higher time frame situation, right? Like the TA here. So obviously, guys, one of the major things that we have been keeping an eye on, if you watch this live stream in any capacity, is the fact that although we are in somewhat of a bull flag here, we are also technically in a downtrend, right? Now, with that being said, with understanding that we were in a downtrend, right? Shout out to technical analysis, as we've been in this downtrend, we've been able to look at this money flow on the 3-day, which has consistently been trending to the downside. And one of those early warning signs where we were looking for this bigger drop down on the 4th of July to about $53,000, the reason we were anticipating this on the live stream and in the Discord was the fact that we had money flow coming out on the 2-day, right? And that helped us anticipate that drop. And on this next drop to the downside that we got at 49,000, right, we were able to spot that on the 3-day, right, as we had money flow continuously coming out. So remember this, guys, money flow indicates the longer term trend, right? So when you have high time frame money flow, it doesn't mean that you can't get massive pumps to the upside, right? But this is where everybody gets super, super bullish. And as an analyst, we know that there are very key resistance levels up here, and there is money flow coming to the downside. So we are going to be looking at any bounce to the upside until this money flow comes back up as a lackluster bounce to the upside to put in a macro lower high to break structure to the downside. And we've covered this many times. The current situation we're in is exactly the same, right? As we have money flow coming out, and this is kind of one of the major bearish signs here, is the fact that we have this money flow crossover into the red with this fresh red dot on the 3-day. This would make you anticipate that the trend is likely to continue to the downside. This is why I want to cover the bearish case right now. Now, again, this doesn't mean it's impossible to get to $71,000. I will cover the possibility of that as well. But I will say, from a technical standpoint, this 3-day is looking very bearish, right? This is not my opinion. This is simply just a fact of the matter. And I'm just bringing the TA to you guys. And every other time we've looked at something like this on this drop to the downside and looking for this drop to the downside based off of Fibonacci rejections on the 786, as you can see. Obviously, we had a golden pocket 786 zone, which is a high likelihood area to put a lower high in and break structure to the downside. And then right here, we had another golden pocket 786 from this high to this low, giving us another rejection zone, which would be a high likelihood area to put in a lower high and continue a break of structure to the downside, right? And it obviously takes a very long time to play out, but we are literally seeing this play out exactly as we've been looking at on this live stream for the past few months, right? And as long as this money flow continues into the red, we had to keep that idea of this bearish scenario in mind. Now, again, it doesn't guarantee it's going to play out, but we are definitely in the danger zone right now, which is why the thumbnail right now is literally Bitcoin on the edge, right? Because if we do not get going here and we don't see a massive pump to the upside, very likely that this money flow will play out and we'll get the bigger breakdown. And again, not shockingly, right? Everybody gets super bullish. You know that 786 is there. If you know the TA, right? If you tune into this live stream, you know that 786 is there on top of key levels such as, I guess at least on the 3-day, you have the POC up here at $67,000 where you know you're looking for that drop to the downside. And in our current case, that 786 slash, we also had a daily horizontal there. And one of the key levels that I was showing on the live stream very simply was this tapped weekly naked point of control. Let me go ahead and pull it up really quickly. Get rid of this, get rid of this. And you can see, why does my volume profile never stay? That is very strange. I don't know why that keeps happening to me. But obviously, you had the 786 Fibonacci retracement. I'll come up to the daily. Bada boom, right? 786 from the high to the low with that daily, fresh daily, and our weekly naked point of control, which I don't think is on this chart, but it was sitting at $64,500, right? So that was the kind of cluster of confluence, right? It's not just the key levels. It is the confluence of many levels in one area that give you that strong resistance. And the fact that it was the 786 makes it the last highest likelihood area to put that lower high in. So definitely in the danger zone here, especially with that 3-day coming to the downside, money flow crossover into the red. We also have a 4-day red dot dot printing, 5-day red dot printing, 6-day red dot printing, and that weekly is starting to flop with our VWAP. Now, none of this stuff is confirmed just yet. This weekly could easily come back up. So we would have to see this stuff confirmed before we really start to make any decisions based off of it. But this is not what you want to see, right? Generally, money flow continuing to the downside as well. So definitely not the best sign here. 3-day really kind of looks ugly, right? Now, maybe we see a fake out here and we just, money flow comes back into the green. We get a massive move to the upside. But shout out to Lord Monty, says, Frankie, I joined the free Discord today, but got removed. I only wrote once, and I passed the verify and stuff. Shout out to Lord Monty. If you open a support ticket or just at Rob or Tyler, or you can hit up Tony D on Discord, and he'll be able to help you out. As long as you didn't do anything crazy in the Discord, you probably didn't get kicked out. We're pretty lenient. Like, we try to keep it peaceful and stuff. But unless you did something crazy or broke the policy or something, you probably didn't get removed. It might just be a bug. But yeah, reach out to Tony D or one of the mods. They should be able to help you with that, brother. But yeah, not looking good on the 3-day, guys. And let us not forget here, if we do pull up, I'm going to pull up the Heikinashi candles, pull up a fresh copy of Market Cipher B, pull up that 2-day. Or is it just on regular candles? Yeah, so we do have a blood diamond on our regular candles on the 2-day, which is now confirmed, guys. So just keep that in mind as well, right? Last blood diamond on the 2-day did wind up giving us a pretty big pullback of about 20%. Now, again, it's not just easy to see these blood diamonds in short and make a ton of money. Although they oftentimes play out, sometimes they don't. All you have to do is go back enough in price action, and you will see that not all of them play out perfectly. This one gave you a very small pullback of about 6% before blasting off. So, keep that in mind. But there are a lot of bearish signs popping up here. Really, that 3-day money flow and money flow crossover and red dot is really what is not looking good in my own personal opinion, right? Now, what makes this situation difficult, guys, is where we are in the 4-year cycle, right? 3-year cycle. Where we are in the 4-year cycle, and I kind of cover this a lot, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But we have rate cuts expected in September. This is typically that looser monetary policy that we need to see the risk on assets absolutely fly and put us into a bull market for Bitcoin. And this is expected in September, but very likely, guys. Now, it was a little bit different back here in 2020, as I believe they were cutting rates in March. Yeah, I believe they cut rates in March to help out the economy and try to stimulate it. But in September, they wound up just keeping interest rates where they were, right? I think they dropped them to 0 and they kept them where they were. But what happened, right? September was a bearish month, as it typically is, right? They don't call it Rectember for no reason. And, it doesn't, again, it's not 100% chance, right? There are some Septembers that are not bearish. But more often than not, we do see September be a pretty bearish month. And you can see we were in a very similar situation back here in 2020, where we kind of just went sideways more or less. And then, all through basically May, June, July, August, right? We kind of had that long consolidation period, and then September happens. We get the drop off. September was bearish once again, and then we went sideways, and then all of a sudden, bing bong, October starts, and then we get the big move to the upside. And this is to show that it's not necessarily that if we get the rate cuts in September, we may not see an instant rip to the upside. And I explained this on a live stream a couple of days ago. It's not that when they cut the rates that it's an instant reaction, right? Maybe you get people buying the FOMO, like, oh my God, rate cut, fly to the moon, right? But you may still see some volatility come in here, as it does typically take a little while to get those rate cuts to actually give you that push to the upside. So just keep that in mind, right? So if we do get the bigger drop to the downside, just to cover some of these key levels, let me hide these real quick. And this is kind of what it puts us in a hard situation, right? Like without argument, right? This 3-day looks horrific, right? Money flow crossover, and this is kind of the rare bearish sign, right? This does not happen very often. The last time we got a significant money flow crossover into the red on the 3-day was back here in July, right? And then we got that drop off, that big dump in August, right? And this was kind of a very similar situation to where we are right now as well, right? We entered this sideways range in March, and we basically went sideways. And I mean, even with this dump, it was kind of just going sideways until we wound up winding up seeing what happened, right? October comes in, and we get the big push to the upside. So, that was the last money flow crossover into the red on the 3-day. That wound up giving us about a 22% dump. And then the last time before that was all the way back in the the start of the previous bear market, or the current bear market that we 2022, right? You get a significant money flow crossover into the red right here. And again, this is on the 3-day. And then obviously this wound up giving a very, very large drop off. We remained in the red on money flow for quite some time as we dropped off into the bear market. So again, I don't know if I'm necessarily anticipating this based off where we are in the cycle, also where we are in like the business cycle and macroeconomically, like where these things are with the looser monetary policy right on the horizon. But I just want to be clear, right? It may be like, hey guys, like we're cutting rates, we finally get what we're looking for, and like I wouldn't necessarily just expect like price to rip up and that's the day the bull market starts, right? Maybe it's a sell the news event, and then again, like I said, it's not like when the Fed decides to cut rates, right? They're cutting their target for the rates, right? It's the target that they're trying to get the rate to, right? So it's not like they're just hitting a switch and then the rates are down and everything flies. It takes time. Like it's not instant, right? So it's like the same thing with the ETF approval, and I've covered this on the live stream before. I think it's very important because there were a lot of people, even on YouTube, who like should know what they're doing, like just calling for up only on the announcement of the ETF, thinking that like when the ETF is announced, that is just going to be up and to the right instantly. And we were obviously looking for a sell the news event here. And was it overall bullish for the market? Obviously, right? The market has been, thinking or hoping for these ETFs for so long. But a lot of people were just like, oh my God, the ETFs are approved. We're going to rip up. And like, there was a 20% correction that came in here that a lot of people probably bought the top of this candle thinking it was just going to moon and then got a 20% drawdown and lost a lot of money, right? So you have to anticipate these sell the news events, especially when you're coming up to key resistance like we were at the ETF. And right now, we could see something similar, right? Maybe we rally and then they get the rate cut and we get a little bit of a sell the news event, and then eventually it does wind up being very bullish for Bitcoin. Very similar to this, right? It's not like the ETFs are approved and then all of a sudden like $1 quadrillion are injected into the market and we just moon, right? That's not how things work, and especially with the rate cuts. So, volatility to be potentially expected here before we wind up seeing a bigger move to the upside. Now, if the 3-day money flow crossover into the red is going to give us that bigger move to the downside, what can we look for? Next key level of support that I am personally watching, major level of support if we break the lows here at $49,000, is going to be the weekly naked point of control at $47,480, right? Or $47,500, I believe is the actual level. Let me just pull it up here real quick. Bada boom. I got to let that load. 47,000. Let's pull this up. $47,500, right? Right here. This naked point of control is that level that I'm going to be watching if we get the big dump to the downside. Now, that is the first level, but let's not forget, we've been looking at another zone of support, which is, in my opinion, a bit stronger than that $47,000 level, and it is going to be within this area of consolidation. Remember, the market hunts fair value constantly. It is always looking for fair value. So we have fair value up here, which we've obviously built a ton of value up here as we've continued to range up here in this volume profile. If we get imbalance to the downside, and the sellers outweigh the buyers and we get a big move down, price is naturally going to gravitate towards where? Very simply put, they are going to gravitate. Let me pull up this level. Let me pull up this Bitcoin chart real quick. Bada boom, let me hide all this local stuff. Bada boom, hide the local, right? Come on over to the daily. Right? So we have balance here, and if we get imbalance to the downside, price is either going to go make new balance somewhere, or it's going to more than likely, and more often than not, instead of making new balance, it typically goes to hunt out previous fair value or previous balance, which we all know is the levels that we showed on the chart, on the live stream a bazillion times, down here at 44,000, between $44,000 and $41,000. Now, this is something we've been looking at all the way, like ever since we came down, I think on this first dump, but ever since April, we've been looking down saying, hey, if we get the big drop, this 51 to 52K level is going to be the first major level of support, which obviously we wound up taking out. And then below that, the next major level of support is down here in the 40s. And everybody says, how is this guy looking at? Not everybody. I mean, the mafia knows. The mafia knows. But people who don't understand are simply like, this guy's crazy. we're pumping, man. Look at this. We're ripping up. We're back at 68K. You're looking at 52K. What's wrong with this guy? And what happens? The TA plays out. We had liquidity down here on the heat map that we knew we were looking for. And what happens? Pricing comes to take that liquidity as usual, and all the retail that thinks up only gets wrecked, right? Now, there was a potential case for a breakout here, and we looked at it. But when you start seeing the bearish signs at key resistance, such as these massive bearish divergences into your value area high, higher highs on your price action, higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves, right? You get those bearish confirmations at a very confluent level up here. We also have the 786 up here, and you know that liquidity is sitting down there, and you know your higher time frame money flow is crossing over into the red, and that means that you're going to be favoring moves to the downside and breaks of structure to lower. That's how you see that stuff come in, right? So we've been looking at these levels for quite some time, and here we are with the 3-day money flow crossover finally happening months later, and now everybody's starting to look down here. So this is what we're looking at. $44,000 to $41,000 is going to be the next major level of support if we break the $47,500 weekly naked point of control. And again, are there other smaller levels within here? Yes. You want to remember we do have the naked value area down here at 51 to 52K. Obviously, we've already tapped that level, but we could potentially get hung up on that. So you don't want to ignore that level either. But for the most part, in the event that money flow crossover, which is going to be calling, if that continues into the red, for a lower low to come in, if that does happen, $47,500 to $44,000 to $41,000 are the next levels, and you found them here, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. So I don't want this to happen, right? Like, I don't want price to go down. Like, I would much rather just, to be honest, for the first time ever, I think I would actually just prefer to go sideways and then hopefully rip to the upside. But again, you cannot ignore these signs on the higher time frame. So hopefully these fake out. Hopefully we don't have to see the big drop down. But now if we do, I don't want, like, over the weekend or whatever point, if we do get the big drop down, I want you guys to be aware of the levels underneath us, and I want you to have an understanding of why we're seeing the move down, and not just look at that candle free falling like a lot of people were doing on the 4th of July, right? And even at 51, when we got the drop down to 49K, you see those big candles down, and you're like, oh my God, where is it going to stop? Why are we falling down? And I hope to give you guys clarity on why we are seeing these moves. That way, when you see the pushes down, you're not scared saying, what's happening? Oh my God, it's going to zero, but rather you're saying, oh, we're falling through that low volume gap. I'm going to look at this next support level because that's the next level that not only we're probably headed to, but where we could potentially get a bounce. And it can remove a lot of emotion off the charts, right? Because when we got this drop down on the 4th of July, it was no surprise to me, right? Because we were looking at this massive, let me hide the indicators here. We were looking at this massive, let me zoom out, right? This massive low volume gap. Come back into bar replay mode so you guys can see it a little better. We knew that we had this massive low volume gap here, bringing us down. If we lose this level at, 59K, probably going to see that really, really quick move through this low volume gap. So when we start falling through there, we're not like, oh my God, what is happening? We are just simply saying, well, hey, we knew there was nothing holding us up. So once we broke these lows, we knew we were likely going to get a quick move down to a much, much lower level, right? And where was that next level of support coming in? Down here in that 51 to 52K range. And we just front ran that at $53,000, right? But there's no scary, obviously you don't like to see price go down, but understanding why you're seeing the free falls really just kind of like puts your mind at ease. It's like, okay, we fell into the low volume gap. This is going to suck, right? We're probably going to drop. But at least you know what's going on, and at least you know where the zones to be looking for those bounces at. And this can really help your psychology a lot when you're watching the charts, because I know it definitely gets pretty scary sometimes, especially on a drop like the 4th of July, or even to drop down to 49K down here. So there you go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Agbati said, please, how can we find the news when trading crypto? Shout out to Agbati. I'm not 100%. Are you asking me like what websites can you look at the news? There's many different ways you could do it. You could do it on TradingView. There's features on TradingView to find the news. There's also other things that you can use, such as Crypto Panic's a big one that I like to look at. It's like minute by minute news. They come in like by the minute, literally. So Crypto Panic, if that's what you mean. And if you mean how do we find where the news events are going to happen, like like when we see like news drop Bitcoin or something, how do we know it's coming before the news comes out? Very simply put, bearish signals on the chart. We don't know that there's going to be a news catalyst, but every time there's a big news catalyst, like, whatever it is, right? This isn't the case at this point, but let's say like, something really bearish happened here, right? Like let's say this was the C19 event, right? You're going to likely see bearish signs on the chart, like massive 10, 12, 16 hour daily bearish divergences here like we had. Lower highs on your momentum waves, higher highs on your price action into a key level of resistance. When you see this, you're like, that's pretty bearish. I'm going to look for shorts based off that technical signal, right? And then all of a sudden, you start to get the drop, and you start free falling off bearish news, and you're like, I shorted the technical signal. I don't care what the news is, but it just comes in after the move happens, right? So this is kind of how you can spot things, but it's hard to say. It's not like when this signal pops up, that means bad news is going to happen. That's not how it works. But so hopefully that answers your question. All right, let's see. Shout out to Tommy, says, do you consider the strength of other markets when generating a bias towards BTC? I'm having a hard time getting a read, seeing the strength on of NQ and ES. So absolutely, right? Because there really is, right? Like Bitcoin does sometimes do its own thing, but for the most part, right, crypto tracks traditional finance, right? So, any crazy bull market that we've seen in Bitcoin, sure, we have the 4-year cycle. Sure, the 4-year cycle all makes sense, right? Like you cut the supply, it becomes more rare, creates a supply shock, price goes up. All of that makes sense. But to be quite honest, like this hasn't really been super disproved yet. But like one thing that is verifiable is that every time Bitcoin runs, like traditional finance is in a run as well, right? And this is provable if you just compare the charts. And it's also in line with looser monetary policy, right? Like this is a hard fact. But we really need to see, like, if we get rate cuts, right, and everything else, for some reason dumps, and then Bitcoin decides to. Here's the thing. Risk on assets cannot run without looser monetary policy, right? So the chances of the stock market collapsing, right, and Bitcoin just running is extremely rare, right, or very low probability, right? Unless it's like the collapse of the financial system and everybody flocks to Bitcoin because it's hard money. But I don't know if we're there yet, right? So we really need to see. We have not seen these things massively deviate yet. And to be honest, in order to prove that the 4-year cycle based off the halvings is indeed what changes the price of Bitcoin, we need to see that deviation. Until we see that deviation, it's just tracking traditional finance. Now, again, it still tracks with the 4-year cycle, but you can't really prove that the 4-year cycle is what moves the price, even though it does make sense fundamentally. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense fundamentally, right? The supply shock, it all makes sense. But in order for that to truly be proven to be the thing that moves the price, you would have to see it deviate from traditional finance. So, I do keep an eye on traditional finance. And here's the thing, right? If we get the looser monetary policy, this is going to be good for all markets all around, right? So, if that does wind up happening, not only is the stock market going to run, Bitcoin's also going to run, right? So hopefully that answers your question. But the simple answer to the question is yes, right? Like if the stock market is collapsing or the stock market looks like it's going to absolutely dump, we can't really necessarily anticipate. There's really no reason, in my opinion, to anticipate Bitcoin to absolutely fly to the upside. And unless the chart were to say so. But again, even if the chart was saying that, the chart would have to call for it. But yeah, you have to look at other stuff there, and that's why we look at stuff like the DXY, right? That DXY starts dumping. This is typically bullish for Bitcoin. And yeah, you definitely want to have a good idea of what's going on in other markets because that does affect Bitcoin, and we don't know yet. It might be the thing that moves Bitcoin, right? It honestly makes a bit more sense than the 4-year cycle until we. Shout out to Tyler Durden said Frank makes sense fundamentally. Thank you, Tyler. I think you make sense technically and fundamentally. But anyway, let's go ahead and see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Crypto King. Yeah, if the financial system falls apart, so I think eventually maybe that's what kind of, maybe crypto takes over and like everyone flocks to Bitcoin as a safe haven asset. Yes. But it's still a risk-on asset. So if you look at it that way, there's really nothing that would say that if the stock market was collapsing, no one's gonna run into the risk on assets if they're not investing in traditional finance, in my opinion, right? And just not my random opinion on how I feel, but how things have happened in the past and how things behave based off each other and are correlated, right? Like, this is all based off information. It's not my, like, emotional opinion. All right, real quick, I did miss some super chats, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to the altcoins in just a second. But shout out to Jordy. Thank you so much for that super chat, bro. He said, I survived the dip to 50K all by myself from your lessons, paid off my DeFi debt, and now all holding spot before the big run. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you. Shout out to Jordy, bro. I'm throwing you, we're going to throw some money for you, bro. Bing bong. Shout out to Jordy, bro. Let's go. I don't think any of that fell on camera. Where's the hundreds at? Did I get robbed? Interesting. Mrs. Candles might have taken some, Mrs. Candle might have robbed the studio to go to New York. But yeah, shout out to Jordy, bro. Super happy to hear that we're able to help you out with all this stuff, bro. And I try to break things down very simply, and especially, I'm not an expert, right? Like, I would consider myself an expert on the charts, absolutely. But I'm not like a super expert on, like, I'm not an economist, right? Like, I wouldn't necessarily consider, I wouldn't consider myself an expert on geopolitical, monetary policy, all this stuff. I wouldn't come up here and tell you guys I feel like I'm an expert in that if I'm not. But I do understand it enough to break it down to a little bit more of a simple a way to help you guys understand it in a simple manner. And I think that's like really what you guys are looking for, because although I might not know all the technical mechanics behind everything, like in the like macroeconomically, I've been explaining recently that when the Fed cuts rates, right, you can kind of compare this to an asset. Right? When you flood supply into an altcoin, if it has a token unlock or something, I mentioned this in the live stream in the premium earlier. If you have an altcoin and there's a token unlock, what happened? Let me know in the chat. What happens when there's a token unlock on an altcoin? Thank you, Creighton C. Shout out to Creighton. He said it dumps. But yeah, oftentimes, right, if you just flood a bunch of supply into something, the price will dump, right? And this is kind of how you can think of, now again, this is just like a general overview and an easy way to think of it. When you have banks lending out money, right? When they lend each other money, the interest rate is like the price they charge to loan the money. And the more money that's in the system, when the government spawns money, right, and basically just prints money online on the internet, like on a computer, they just print a bunch of money and they buy bonds, right? This basically fills the reserve. It gives the banks extra reserve, so they have a plentiful supply of money, right? So this makes it able for them to then loan out that money at a lower interest rate, which encourages economic growth, right? So then businesses are more encouraged to take advantage of these low interest rates because the money is cheap. Think about the interest rate as the price of money, right? So the more supply you put in, the cheaper the money gets, right? And then the more money you get, the more you can give away for cheap. Like, it's different because on Bitcoin, right, you don't want to flood a bunch of supply into Bitcoin. If they dumped if it turns out 100 million Bitcoin were just randomly created, which is impossible, but like if you just added more than 21 million Bitcoins into circulation, the price would likely dump, right? But this is kind of what we want for the dollar, because that's what will increase the demand and economic growth, right? And the ability for businesses to loan cheap money or borrow cheap money to expand business, which makes the economy boom, right? And then that's when the risk on assets, that's when people have money to throw around and invest and take chances to invest in risk on assets, right? And then it gets all overheated and it gets all out of whack, and the economy's, it's weird, right? Because when the economy does really well, you would think, why is that bad, right? Like, why is it bad that, the economy does really well? And that's when they have to raise interest rates to kind of hurt the economy, to slow everything down, to bring down inflation. Because the more booming everything is, the more money people are throwing around, everyone's like, oh, I got all this money, there's more demand to buy things, right? So like everyone's going to the store, right? Think about this, like for goods and services. You go to the store and everybody's buying stuff, right? And then what happens? All the stuff is flying off the shelves because everyone's got money, right? So then the businesses can't keep up with that demand, right? There's not enough supply to meet the demand, so they raise prices, right? And then that kills the buying power of your dollar. I know it's very confusing, right? I try to break it down easily, but think of the interest rates as just making money cheaper, right? And then that is what encourages the economic growth. Think of it as an asset price, right? And then they make the interest rate higher, right? Money gets more expensive, and people don't want to really throw around money and borrow money too much because it's expensive, right? So hopefully that makes sense, like a very base level, right? But it's not like they don't just hit a button and it changes the interest rate, right? They have to buy those bonds, which then in turn gives the banks extra reserve, which then allows them to lend out money cheaper. So like a time has to go by for that to kind of kick in, right? And that's why I'm saying there's very likely going to be a bit of volatility. It's not just going to be like interest rate cuts and then a big boom, right? And maybe you get FOMO buying or whatever, but it could also be a sell the news event, right? And you get, it's similar to, this is why I'm comparing it to the ETF approval, right? You have the ETF approval, right? Like, is it bullish for Bitcoin? Absolutely, but it was a sell the news event first, and then it actually kicked in, and we got the next leg up. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it wasn't like too wordy. I really try to break things down. Just think of it as an asset price. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Mr. 100. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, does AVAX have any chance of holding above 1750? I've added margin as I can. 3.5K on 3X. Shake it in my boots. I only have 500 limit order on 1X below to prevent liquidation. I'm holding either way. Shout out to Mr. 100. We'll take a look at AVAX. And if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Rob the Crypto Sample, count up the votes and let us know what we are looking at. Let's see. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Interest rates lower equals cheaper loans so it makes attractive for people to get new loans or refinance. Yeah, shout out to Darren. Absolutely. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Kerry Stressel, said, who would like to buy my first course? It's lobster and avocado tartare with yuzu, I don't even know how to say any of this, and caviar. The third course will knock your socks off. Shout out to Kerry Stressel. You cooking up some fire sauce. Let's go. I like it. Shout out to Kerry. I'll take it. I'll take your first course. But yeah. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Wick589, said, paid. Frankie is just yelling. That's normal. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry. I am a screamer, guys. I'm a screamer. But yeah. Why is the audio so quiet? That's not what I thought that was going to say. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom. He's from the East. Shout out to Gen Z. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Ethereum here, guys. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the altcoins right now just because everything kind of remains exactly the same. Just because, right, Ethereum, like, key levels remain the same as yesterday, right? $2,500. If we remain above this, we could potentially continue into the volume profile, continue the move up to the value area high / POC, sitting between $3,100 and $3,200, right? Or $3,169. I'm looking up towards $3,200, right? Other than that, like, all the local levels remain exactly the same. I'll just pull it up on this chart. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. So let's see here. Local levels, right? If you're just looking for shorter time frame stuff, next value area or area of balance that we are likely to gravitate to is going to be between this value area low at 2550 up to the POC at 2650, all the way up to that value area high at $2,700 or 2684. But for the most part, right, like unless you're looking to scalp or anything like that, for the most part, like the real key levels are honestly on this larger volume profile, right? If you're not watching the charts constantly and not looking to catch these little ups and downs, this is the major zone that I'm looking at, right? If we get a move up, there are some key levels coming up here a little bit lower than the value area high POC, but if I go ahead and pull that up, you guys can see that's all the same stuff, right? Golden pocket between 2917 up to the value area high at 3000 is kind of the first major level of resistance. So if we are able to hold above this value area low, probably will find some kind of turbulence here. But honestly, there is more confluence up towards this level between 31 and 3200 bucks. But feel free to screenshot these levels if you guys want to keep them on your chart. But yeah, that's pretty much like everything remains exactly the same for Ethereum. Let's see. Yo, shout out to B-Rad Crypto. Said I'm about to trade my ADA for a Frankie hat. Let's go. Shout out to B-Rad Crypto. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, Big Daddy said Michael Saylor says you got a hawk Tua. Spit on that thing. Let's see. I'm talking. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Rigo. Thank you for the super chat again, bro. He said, "Do you think it's advantageous to measure the ratio differences between the halvings to beginning of the banana zone for each cycle to get prediction area for the next banana zone beginning?" Banana zone. I guess are you like referring to like the banana the banana zone? I assume you mean just like the like big run. Is that what you're talking about? Like the big banana. I guess you could consider that the banana zone, like these big massive rips. It's what it seems like you're saying. The ratios to beginning of the banana zone for each cycle to yeah, okay, so I guess that is I guess you're talking about like measuring the beginning of like the parabolic move up and then like trying to measure that off to like and compare it. I do, right? I do think that's useful as long as you understand that history is never going to repeat itself 100%, right? It's always going to likely rhyme rather than just repeat. But I do think that is definitely likely. Like I've done that before where, you know, we pull, bar patterns, right, from like previous areas and compare them to the current areas, right? I actually think we did it most recently with this right here, right? This little pump to the upside and little consolidation that we had here. You come up, you get that consolidation, and then we get that big drop to the downside. We were comparing that to this kind of consolidation zone that we are looking at over here, right? Now, obviously, you'd have to resize it just a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you could do that with anything. Like just pull the bars pattern and just try to like compare it, right? So yeah, you can do it. I don't think it's as easy as just being like, like just taking this and like dragging it to the top and then just like going to the date and like just putting it there and being like, that's what it's going to look like. I don't think that's what I would be like. I don't think that's like, it depends on how you do it, right? But I do think there's useful information to be pulled from if you do it correctly. So yes, I don't think it's a complete waste at all. I definitely do that from time to time. But you just have to understand that it's like likely it's not as easy as just like pulling it and then like copying pasting it to the current price action to see exactly what's going to happen. But a lot of times it gets very close. So definitely useful. Shout out to Thesis himself. What is going on, Thesis? Good to see you in here, bro. He said Adam and Dot, please. Shout out to Thesis. Yeah, we'll take a look at Adam and Dot for you. No problem. And then, yo, the bananas in the chat. Shout out to Jedi Skirk. You guys are funny, bro. All right, let's see. Parabola is also a Green Day song. Why did I say Green Day song? I don't know why I read that like that. Shout out to you. That was funny. I don't know why I said that. And now I lost it. Parabola is also a great song by Tool, not Green Day, in case you didn't know. Shout out to Goldavelli. Shout out to Green Day. Shout out to Creighton. Let's go. Shout out to you for the super chat. He says, so assets mature, structures change, money flow cycle one giant green wave, C2 put some red in this cycle, full correction, just like last summer, money flow reset. That's how I'm reading it. Patience and wait for October. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like unless we just rip off on the rate cuts when we are supposed to get them, unless we just absolutely go skyrocketing forward, I would expect October. Like I would expect it to play out somewhat similar to this, right? So there you go. Shout out to Creighton C. I would agree with that. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on. Took a look at Ethereum. And yeah, maybe we'll just freestyle some of the altcoins tonight. I don't think the counts are in or anything. So yeah, I'll do Adam, Dot, and then I'll just keep an eye on chat. You don't have to spam them, but I'll just kind of take him out of chat as we start looking at him. So let's first take a look at Adam. Bada boom. Bada bing. There we go. Okay, yeah. So for Atom, we actually looked at Atom the other day. Still somewhat very similar, right? Like, in my opinion, like, this key high-volume node sitting at $3.70 is going to be absolutely critical. If we get a move down there, you really didn't even call the votes yet. Shout out to Rob. So if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, drop them in the chat right now. Rob the Crypto Stomp, count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Shout out to Rob. Yeah, Rob, let's do I'll do Atom, Dot, and then let's do maybe two or three requests, and then maybe we'll get to all of them, but we do have to get to the giveaways. So yeah, and I will pin that YouTube channel. I'll pin the YouTube video that you need to like and comment on to get into the giveaways, pinned to the top of the chat. And AVAX we'll take a look at as well. Okay. Let's continue on. Shout out to Mark Dutch said, so who's got nice plans for the weekend? Shout out to you, bro. Mrs. Candles and Tony D are out of town. So I'm I don't know. I'm chilling. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably just sit on the charts all day. Maybe I'll film some videos. But anyway, yeah, major volume profile here. We are just absolutely battling at this value area low, sitting at about 460. But as long as we can get back above there, this is the major range that I would be paying attention to, right? Between value area high at 656, POC at 533, and the value area low at 460. And then if pull up market cipher B, maybe, see the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour bull div starting to print here at the lows. So, if you're going to have a hold above this value area low and get a push up to that POC, could be something to look for that move up to the POC. But in the long term here, these local levels remain the same. In the long term, take a look at the higher time frames. 3-day not looking as horrible as Bitcoin just because the money flow crossover is not new, right? It's kind of been in the red here, so you have an opportunity to bottom out here with your money flow. 4-day, VWAP flopping over. Your 2-day red dot is confirmed. 3 days looking to print a red dot very soon. Weekly green dot is confirmed. Money VWAP is kind of curving over. So, yeah, my hope for Atom would be, 8-hour money flow in the red. 4-hour money flow in the red. Yeah, I don't know. Really what I would like to see for this to be a strong bottom, right, for a likely large pump to the upside would be the bullish divergence with money flow curving up, right, being in the red already, coming to cross into the green. But we don't have that. We have a fresh crossover into the red. So could this give you a bounce? Sure, but I don't know if I'd be anticipating it to continue very high, at least in the short term. So there you go. But locally, could potentially see... Yeah, 45-minute. Yeah, kind of hard to read. But these are the levels I'd be looking at. Shout out to Thesis. Yeah, and then, again, do or die level here at 370. Shout out to JB. Said he's taking his girl to the zone. I'm not going to say it here. It's a family-friendly show, but you just made me laugh, bro. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's take a look at Polkadot. Kind of a similar situation, right? We have these very, very large bear market ranges, right? You get the 2021 top, boom, we come down, ranging around here. Even if we got one more wash on the altcoins here, which I don't know if we're going to get it, but, yeah, especially because you cleaned this low down here. Oh, no, you didn't. Dang. But, yeah, if Polkadot's not going to die and never come back, it's pretty cheap considering this is the bottom of the bear market range. So even if we came lower, it's already at $4, right? What are we going to come down to, right? You got nice support down here as well, pretty nice support on your way up in the 2021 bull run. So yeah, to be quite honest, looking very similar to everything else, right? Or at least everything else that's at the bottom of its bear market range. Yeah, you're losing the 786 here, but the hope, yeah, weekly's kind of, 3-day red dot. I wouldn't be surprised if you come down a little bit more, but, the idea here is you're deviating below your volume profile. This is not, hopefully, maybe you could put in some higher time frame bull divs, right? Let's see, a 4-hour maybe set up for that. Yeah, you are putting in some bull divs here on the 4-hour into the golden pocket. So, bull div here. Maybe it brings you back up. But, you know, in the long term, I'd really be paying attention to some of the higher time frames here, right? Like, you got to get above 495 to get the bigger move to the upside. Like, that's your key level, in my opinion. Flip 495 decisively with money flow coming up. That's where you're going to see the bigger move up. Other than that, like, you can pull this this volume profile potentially. It's a little wonky, but, I mean, if you pulled this from 2020 and then extrapolate this to the right, like, this is likely going to be respected if we come back down there. Pull up the horizontal line, magnet, whoops, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, 383 is kind of your next, like, local key level. So, yeah, I mean, you really want to hold these lows, to be honest. But, you know, to keep things nice and simple, I would be looking at $4.97, $5 as your key level of support to get above before your next big move up. Thank you. Screaming Banana. Shout out to All Set. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you for pinning that comment. I appreciate you so much. Shout out to Wick589. Thank you for the super chat. Says, did you know technical term for money earned is the banana zone? Money earned in the banana zone is banana bread. So if you make any money in a parabolic move on Bitcoin, guys, you are making, indeed, banana bread. Shout out to Wick589. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for giving us that terminology, because I am going to say that from now on, and I will credit you every time I say it. When we get the parabolic move up, I'm going to be like, we're making banana bread, baby. Shout out to Wick589. Oh, God, you guys are awesome. All right, let's continue on here. Banana stand. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. All right, let's see. Dot Adam. Let's take a look at near. Yeah, I mean, this is the same situation that we were in last time we looked at near. Again, like, not too much going on as far as local price action. Yeah, I mean, these 4-hour bull divs can bring you up, guys. But to be honest with you, like, money flow headed in the wrong direction, right? Like, typically for strong bottoms to come in, if I was looking at this as a significant bullish divergence for a big move up, right, I would want to see money flow doing the complete opposite of this. I would want it to be in the red, crossing into the green. But instead, money flow is crossing over into the red. Money flow indicates the longer-term trend. And in this case, it would make us anticipate a lackluster pullback to the upside before putting in a lower high and continuing back down, right? The trend is your friend until the end, and your X-ray vision to predict the trend is money flow. So there you go. Other than that, Mr. 100 said SBF is coming back. Guys, he's going to save crypto. Shout out to Mr. 100. I assume that's a joke. Let's see. Banana bread and butter. Now I want banana bread. Mrs. Candles makes killer banana bread. All right, let's continue on here. But yeah, for the most part, like, these bull divs, can they give you the move up? Yes. Key level to get above on near is going to be sitting right here at $4.15. If you cannot, I mean, even if you get above here, right, like, you are definitely at risk of, like, putting in a lower high and continuing down. But, yeah, like, if you really got to break out of this area of balance, right? Because if I pull up the VPVR, zoom out a bit, right? Come on, volume. There we go. Yeah, you got to get above this value area high. If you get stuck underneath here, you're probably going to your value area low, to be quite honest, right? So respecting this range, if we get imbalance to the upside and we just get a massive pump, likely to come back into this larger range between about 465 and 550. So there you go. Quick and dirty on near. Let's see. Let's check out Solana. Probably in the same situation. I haven't looked at Solana yet. So yeah, these are the current levels on Solana. Like, still just bing-bonging around. Deviation below the low. Front run on the value area high. POC acts as a magnet. Second run for the high. Failure. So, I mean, to be honest, if you can't get back above the POC, value area low is likely. If you get back above the POC, value area high is likely. Now, technically, based off the laws of the volume profile, we front ran the value area high, which would mean oftentimes price will run and more often than not actually come and see that value area high. However, With the way money flow looks on the 4-hour, it is probably looking more likely to get stuck under the POC and come down to the value area low at 124, which could potentially be a good place to start looking for a bounce. But other than that, looking very similar to everything else, right? VWAP on the daily starting to try to turn around, but not looking super, super nice in my opinion. Yeah, like this is your next key level. If you can get back down here to this golden pocket, value area low, 4-hour money flow would call for that being the more likely situation. And if you did get back down there, like this would be the target and the area I would be looking for another bounce. So there you go, guys. And with all that being said, let's go ahead. I want to jump into these giveaways because we do have shout out to Mr. 100 said, Frankie's depressing me. I know it's not his fault. Just spitting facts. Shout out to Mr. 100. And here's the thing, right? I will say this. There is a case, right? There is a case where we could potentially, see a bullish case play out. But like as the price action presents itself right now with the higher time frames and what we're seeing right now as we are struggling to get back above our macro value area, and I'm just gonna pull this up to make it like nice and clear, right? Pull up the daily. This is shout out to Bubba's Crypto gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go! Shout out to Bubba's. Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to Adam Zinn. Shout out to Adam Zinn. Let's see. Kanav, Lorenz, and Futures Rush. Shout out to you guys for getting those memberships. And shout out to Bubba's Crypto for giving them. And if you guys didn't know, Bubba's Crypto has one of the most goated profile pictures on YouTube. One of my personal favorites. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. But yeah, this is the bullish case here. If we wanted to see a flip to the upside here, like the only thing I can really call for is you got to get above that $60,400 value area low. So you have that nice clear line in the sand, right? You got to get above this value area low. And, even at that point, you're still at risk of coming back down. But if you get above that level, it could potentially open the door for your money flow to come back into the green on the daily, which could run you up to the POC. But even then, you're not really out of the danger zone. If you flip the POC, you can get a move up to the value area high. But at this point, you need this daily money flow to come into the green and then drag the 3-day money flow back up. And in my opinion, like until we even wind up getting back up in above this $60,400 level, I am putting the more bearish case a little bit forward, right? Because it's not just the higher time frames, it's also that 4-hour money flow that looks pretty bearish as well. But again, this stuff can fake out, right? And if it does, we have these clear levels to then be able to easily change our opinion, right? And it's not about being wrong and then being like, oh, change my opinion because I want to always be right. That's not how it works, right? You have to be able to flip-flop your analysis, and as you get new information on the chart, you have to take that information into account, and a lot of times that will flip you from bearish to bullish, right? And if you don't do that, you're just going to wind up continuing to short in a bullish environment and long in a bearish environment. You don't want to do that. You're going to lose all your money. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto said, I don't think I'm entered in any giveaway. Justin OG showing some love to the Mafia. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Let's go. We appreciate you. Yeah, Bubba's is one of the oest of G's. But with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into some of these giveaways and see if we can give away some free crypto. And shout out to Tyler. What are we giving? What are we giving? Is it hats and Ada? Is it just Ada? Let me know. Tyler Durden is the king, not even the boss, but he is the king of the giveaways, as Rob the Crypto Snob is master of alts. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. 10 bags of Ada. Let's go. Here we hats. Shout out to Tyler. I don't know. Did we hit a like goal? We might have hit a like goal. Incognito said, I won, Frankie, I'm sure. Shout out to Incognito. But here we go. We'll play it by maybe we'll just we'll play it by ear here. Who said hats? Ada Hats and Solana. Shout out to Dave. I don't know who to believe now. All right, we'll start off with 10 bags of Ada, and we'll see if we can figure it out. 5 hats, 5 Ada. Shout out to Gen Z. Tyler, Dave, banned. Shout out to Dave Digital. All right, let's go ahead and let's move on here. So let me grab that. Link real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Copy the link. Come on. Bada boom. Bada bing. All right. Here we go. 10 bags of ADA. Who's it going to be? Winner number 1. Well, let's see how many comments we have. Include replies. So it might be like the second or third time. We might have a yo, shout out to Cyrus that I won. Just send it. Yo, you're funny. Shout out to Zen, said, second time tuning in, and I wonder why YouTube never recommended you. Well, shout out to Zen. Do me a favor. If you want YouTube to recommend this content, bro, make sure you smash that like button, guys. I don't know how many likes we have right now. 257, guys. Let's run it up to at least 450. I think we can do it. 3, 2, 1. Smash that like button. Let's see if we can get it up to from 250 to 350 in the next 30 seconds. I think we can do it. 258 right now. Let's see if we can get 350 in the next 30 seconds. All right, here we go. Winner number 1 for a bag of ADA. Who's it going to be? Nick Dunn said, Tyler sent me here for some ADA LFG. Frankie, shout out to Nick. Oh, God, am I going to have to take these? I'm going to have to tally this up on we can't rip money on live stream, right? The feds will come after us, I think. Can't deface legal tender. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to keep count here. I don't have a pen. Oh, I got a Sharpie. All right, here we go. All right. I'm writing this on a piece of paper, and it's definitely a loose leaf piece of paper and not a piece of money. I'm kidding, guys. The money's fake. The money's fake. It's prop money, guys. It's prop money. All right, here we go. Winner number 1, shout out to Nick. Congratulations, bro. We're going to give you a bag of ADA. Hit that free Discord or just at Tyler. I think you probably know how to get your giveaway. So shout out to you, bro. Thank you for smashing that like button and watching the content. Winner number 2, who's it going to be? Zach Attack said, great insight. Asta Pasta. Shout out to Zach. You are winner number 2. And I promise we're going to give you more than 2 ADA. We're going to give you 3. Shout out to you, bro. I'm just kidding. I think it's more than 3. Let's see. Give me the bag, please. Shout out to Crypto Tatty. Shout out to you, bro. All right, let's see. Nice live. Shout out to It's Me. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the kind words. Oh, God. Shout out to, I don't know how to say that. Searing. Shout out to you. Dropping those Frankie Candles faces. All right, let's see. Winner number 2. Who's it going to be? Algorand Army said, ready for tonight's stream. Shout out to Algorand Army. I'm sorry, bro. We're giving you a bag of something with an A, but it's not a bag of Algo. But shout out to you, bro. Thank you for watching the content, and enjoy your free Cardano. You can always swap it out for Algorand if that's what you prefer. Winner number 4. Here we go. KN. I don't know how to say that. I always get nervous with the names, to be honest. I always try to read them in my head before. But yeah, let's go, Frankie. Shout out to KNS. I'm sure that's not how you say it, but shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for watching the content. You are winner number 4. I believe. Winner number 4 for the bag of ADA. Thank you for watching the content. Thank you for smashing the like button. Enjoy your free money. Winner number 5. Real War POV said, what's going on, Frankie? Shout out to Real War POV. What is going on, bro? I don't know what is going on. Bitcoin might be going to 0. I'm just kidding, guys. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. Not going to 0, hopefully. But shout out to you, bro. What's going on is we're going to send you a free bag of ADA. Thank you for watching the content. Congratulations. Winner number 6. XRP Army says, Asta Pasta. Let's go. Shout out to the XRP Army. We are going to give you some free Cardano. I wish it was XRP. Yeah, I wish it was XRP. It used to be XRP, but XRP is annoying because you have to have collateral in your wallet to get it sent to you. It's just like a nightmare. But shout out to you, bro. We'll send you some Cardano. You could swap it out for some extra XRP. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching the content. You're winner number 6. Bing, bong. Winner number 7. Who's it going to be? Jonah Morez says, bing, bong. Shout out to you, bro. Winner number 7. You're getting some free... I almost said XRP. You're going to get some free Cardano. Shout out to Jonah. Appreciate you for watching the content, tuning in, smashing the like button, and being a part of the Mafia. We appreciate you. Winner number 8. User H01CO5FK1S. Frankie Candles is the best TA out there. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We're going to send you some Cardano. I got to pay people to say this stuff. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for watching the content. Thank you for the kind words. We're going to send you some free ADA, or Cardanzo, as James Kramer would say. Winner number 9, who's it going to be? Thirsty said, Frankie's the best crypto channel out there. God, you guys are flattering me today. Let's go. Shout out to you, Thirsty. I hope you're thirsty for some Cardano, because we're about to send you a big old bag of it. Well, I don't know if I'll say big old bag, but we're going to send you some free money, bro. No one complains about free money. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the kind words. Hit that free Discord. Go to the giveaway section and hit up Tyler. Shout out to Tyler. Winner number 10, B-Rad Crypto. Let's go. Couldn't have, that's actually hilarious. Shout out to B-Rad. Let's go. Didn't he just post that he wants to win? Shout out to B-Rad Crypto. I appreciate you for always being here. Said, did I win? I think you did, bro. And you're winner number 10. So shout out to B-Rad. Let's get it. Oh, Bubba's. Yeah, no, Bubba said he didn't think he was in the giveaway. That's what I was making that connection for. But shout out to B-Rad Crypto, bro. I think he said something about it, too. Yeah, I think he did. But shout out to everybody who just won a giveaway, guys. And thank you all for tuning in and hanging around till the end of the stream. You guys are the absolute best community. I am literally feel like the luckiest person alive to be able to do this with you guys every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pray for that 3-day, guys, and hope that we don't get that to play out and give us the lower low on price. Because that would be, Gen Z says rigged. Bro, I know. Shout out to Gen Z. We'll root for you next week, bro. We'll try to get you a giveaway. But yeah, pray for that 3-day, guys. Hopefully we don't get that dumped to the downside. And just remember, there's a lot of stuff lining up right now with the looser monetary policy, which really clouds up this analysis because that 3-day may not play out if the rate cuts wind up giving us a pump. But yeah, keep all this in mind. And hopefully this clears everything up for you guys, gives you a better understanding on how things work and why we expect price to move at certain times. And with all that being said, guys, have a great weekend. Go touch some grass. I don't have Mrs. Candles. Well, Mrs. Candles isn't here, but I do have Mrs. Candles V2. She doesn't like to show her face on camera, but... Oh, those hands still smell good. I'll see you guys next time. Go touch some grass. Don't touch plastic hands. I'll see you guys next week. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel as my chair is sinking. I'll see you guys next time. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f*** is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Mr. 100, could you please come to the front of the class? Please tell me he's still here. He's here, Mr. 100. We're going to check out AVAX here. I'm sorry, brother. I almost forgot about this. You dropped that super chat, so I got to honor this. Let's go ahead and take a look at AVAX really quickly. I'm going to pull that fib here of the full move to the upside. try and get an idea of what we're looking at. He said, is there a chance of holding 1730, which I assume he's just looking to hold this low. Let's see. Now, shout out to Mr. 100. I know you know this. I know you know this, but this is not financial advice. Even if I were to say that there was 100% probability of this low holding, there is never going to be a 100% chance of that. So with that being said, I don't think there's a 100% chance, obviously. But even if I said that, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. But I will say this. Let's take a look here. And now this is obviously going to be heavily dependent on what Bitcoin does. But you know, if we hold this golden, like this is your last, I would say this, right? If you lose the 786 at 1917, it's probably going to be a pretty decent likelihood that we're going to come take that low. And I will just give you some levels here real quick. Pull that volume profile. Bada boom. Bada bing. Boom. Boom. Yeah, so yeah, this was the POC. Yeah, so okay, this actually all makes sense. This is the POC of the macro range down here, right? And these are the two major value areas that I would be looking at right now, right? So you have the upper value area here, the lower value area down here between about, 1225 and about 2250, right? If warning sign number one, right? If we could hold above this value area high, like this is key, right? Because if we break below this, not only does it increase the chance that you go for the golden pocket 786, but it also increases the chance that we will come down to that POC again. And if you come down to that POC, right, especially the fact that we've already re-entered the range again, if you come back down to this POC, and you lose it, probably going to get the much bigger drop down to lower prices. But the nice thing here is you have two very important levels, right? So I can't tell you if we're guaranteed to hold this or if there's a chance of holding this, but what I can say is you have two very clear levels. Value area high at 2232. If you could remain above this, you're not really that, I wouldn't be that worried, right? Not that you shouldn't be worried, but I wouldn't be that worried about, coming back down to the POC just yet. You hold above this level. As long as you remain above that, you're pretty good, right? If you break back in this value area high, this is like warning sign number one, because, how many times do we see price get back into a value area, reject that high, go to the POC and the low? So it's the same concept right here. You break that high and can't get back above it. That is big warning sign number one that you are probably going to be pretty high probability that you come down to that POC, right? And then potentially back down to the value area low. And if that is the case, the last kind of line of defense would be that 786 at 1917, because we've already, if you don't get the bounce off the golden pocket, you could bounce off the 786, in which case, you wouldn't have to worry about this low getting touched. But I will say, warning sign number one, losing the value area high, and then, once you're down below that 786, super likely that you come take that low down here at the POC. So hopefully, Mr. 100, shout out to you, bro. He said, the effing man. Shout out to Mr. 100. I appreciate you. And Bubba's Crypto saying the best fam in the game. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto, guys. Thank you so much for the super chats, and thank you for the kind words. I am 100% blessed to have you guys as the community that we get to do this TA in front of and share with every single day. I truly feel blessed. I do not say that because I think it's beneficial for my appearance or anything like that. I say it because I mean it. I'm living out my dream, being able to look at these charts 24/7 with the CandleMafia, and that's why I keep coming up here and doing it every single day. And with all that being said, guys, I'll see you next week. Go touch some grass, please, for the love of God. I probably won't, so please touch some grass for me, and I'll see you guys next week. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed and smash that like button on your way out. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide, never see me coming, I'm a landmine, yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, yeah, you about to see me on demand, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the